Welcome to another edition of Autistic on Tour. I am back at Kew Gardens, this time in June, so basically getting into the summer season. I'm just waiting to be allowed in, as it opens at 10 for non-members, so let's see how this goes. There's quite a lot of people already waiting up, so this is proving quite busy, but I'm going to try and help do this for my 60-mile walk and add some miles onto that, so see how this goes. Hope you enjoyed the video. As it's summer, lots of the things should be open that were closed in my winter video, so we can see if we can go into some of those. But yeah, be the walk and let's see how it goes. Okay, we're in. Let's have a walk. Henry Moore at the moment is here, so there's these statues around. Usually I think I go that way now, but let's do this way randomly. Can't see it massively on my camera at the moment, but there you go. So, this is the family trail for the thing. I'm going towards the treetop walk and all that stuff, because I've never been on that section, so let's go to there. And of course, everything is pretty much in bloom at the moment that you didn't see last time I was doing this, so. So that's another one of his statues, I believe. Things that, like in Kew, they do encourage you to walk on the grass and things like that. And of course, they like at the beginning to the start, they talk about sitting on the grass and having picnics and things, because presumably how busy this gets, it's probably really useful to have that space. So you can, so of course there's like benches and things that show you that. As I say, I just thought it was an interesting way of walking. I know this is going to be busy because it was busy in spring, so on a nice day, it's windy, but it's a nice day, it'll be reasonably busy. I mean, I've gone coming in when it's open for regular folks instead of members, so it's still reasonably busy now, so. But yeah, let's see how we go, and hope you enjoy the video. So yeah, so I think that's another statue over there, and as I say, so we've got the greenhouses and things over there. So as I say, I will spin around and do everything I can do. It just depends on how busy things are when they're doing them. So, because let's say I want a decent walk, so let's try it. But I'll show you what things look like. And sometimes it's just nice to have a bit of a wander without massive amounts of direction. And of course, the Kew tells you where you need to go with things. So it's got the house, temperate house, the pagoda, gallery over there. The treetop walk is over here, and of course it tells you how far away things are on that. So And as I say, as it gets more into the day, there will be places that you can find shade. And apologies for the light that's behind me. It's just a problem having the sun right behind me. But yeah, as I say, lots more things that seem to have a little bit more life in them. I would say that coming in June does make my hay fever symptoms go reasonably high up. So apologies if I sneeze or anything like that. I'll try and cut it out if I can do. But yeah, it's something to think about when you're walking around in nature. But it's also actually one of the nice things about Kew is, apart from the aeroplanes going over, is that there is some form of life always in the gardens. If it's winter, or there will always be green. There will always be something you can see. Just because that's how nature works. There's so many different types of plants, so you'll always see something, even if some of the stuff outside isn't that much of life. That's probably not a sentence, but you know what I mean. There are the greenhouses and things like that you can go and see and you can experience. And also, sometimes it's just nice to be a bit away from people, and at the moment that's what I've got. So, because of course there are many acres of this, so actually there will be pockets of people at certain spots which are going to be harder to deal with. But at the moment where I am, it's reasonably quiet, apart from the birds in the trees and all those kind of things. So actual human interaction is less. Okay, so I'm guessing there's a lift up to here, or there's the stairs. Okay, so there's no lift at the moment. So stairs it is. a decent walk. Although lotus look like a water lily, its DNA is pretty closely related to tree. Plane trees. That's kind of cool. Powered sunlight, trees make their own food from water and air. Okay, and somewhere up to sit. Things to see. I probably won't do my walk down the stairs as I'm a bit wobbly on doing that. But yeah, you should see the way up. So that should all be fine. So you can see quite a lot of what's going on. The floor is a little bit springy, but not in a worrying way. Just, as I say, it's that kind of great kind of stuff that you kind of have a bit of spring under your foot. Okay, so that is pretty much the entire loop. Stairs are down over there, so I will see you back. I'll see you back down on the ground. I'm back on the ground, so let's see what else we can go. I think it might be this way round. I think. So back. And like a lot of these things, like around these kind of places, you can do your own route. You don't get forced to do a particular route. So, which, you know, is nice that you can do the time in your own speed and your own ability. So. Sorry, pigeon. Get out you were in a second. Okay, back onto more solid ground. going up towards the Temple House that way. So yeah, it's the kind of, it's been around since a very long time. I mean, to me 1859 is a long time, and it took quite a long extra time to build, so it was actually complete. I mean, it took another 30 years, which shows building back in the day, if it would take ages, but then of course things keep standing, so it's something. This is the expiration. So this is everything that's around Australia and that climate. Not sure if this bit's open. Let's give it a go. This was the largest Victorian glass house. And I think this is the back of it. Okay, let's go to the Americas. Okay, so the fuchsias. Hey. So that's that, and that's not too busy at the moment, which is quite nice. There were people in there and I avoided filming some of them, so this wasn't like completely empty, but it was better than it could have been. I mean, I could actually film in there for one thing, without having to trot around lots of people. Let's keep going. Okay, we're out of there. Got a couple of seagulls scoping. As I say, you know, I've said in the videos before, lots of different services to walk on and things to see. And also, if I say something feels busy, that's in my sensory mode, that's not necessarily anyone else's. And also, as I say, I do not show as many people on camera as I could do, just because I will show people just to make sure that you know that there are people around, and kind of the busyness, why I see people, shows people likes and stuff. But yeah, and and if I'm leaving because I'm too stressed out, I will tell you guys on videos. So at the moment, I think I'm far enough away from people that it's not too bad. But as I say, as it gets later in the day, it will change, and your mode. I mean, as I say, all these things, it's actually better to get there early as possible, and when they let you in, so then you have a little bit of time before lots of the other people pile in, because they go, oh, it's a nice day, let's go, to wherever you're going. Quite nice to be in the shade. She stood underneath it and we closed it around and you could see her.
And then you put your feet on there. It looks like your house.
Okay, that was a bit busier, but you know. So let's continue on with where we need to go. But yeah, let's continue on and keep going. As I said, I'm giving you a flavour of what you're supposed to be feeling and seeing. So, well, you feel what you can feel. I'm not telling you which way, I'm just saying what I'm doing. Just find somewhere that I can do a pit stop or for something to drink, because as I say, it is quite warm at the moment, and I know I'm the fool wearing a raincoat, but and I think something's down here, I think. If not, we can check out what that building is over there. And as I say, at the moment it's still 10:39 in the morning, so it's going to get an awful lot busier later on, I'm guessing, but at the moment it's, to me, pretty good. One, because it's such a big place, so that's one thing. Options. We've got the orangery, the pavilion, the brasserie, okay, so that is the more posher version of this, so we need to either get to one of either the food village, Victorian Plaza, the orangery, or the pavilion bar and grill. Sorry for the amount of sniffing and things I've done in this video. It's just, well, I say, I have hay fever, so.
Sorry.
Well, I'm out of there, so God knows where I am now, but to be fair, when I want to leave, I basically just need to follow the sign back to Victoria Gate, I believe, and I will be able to get back to the train station. So, that's something. What's this? let's have a look at the signs over there and see what we've got. Okay, so go that way. I'm not one of those people that can name plants all the time. I mean, like, I know some form of daisy. And then someone's going to tell me off and say it's not a daisy, it's this thing. But, everything is labelled with its normal, or more English name, and then there's the kind of what it's usually known as. So I would say is what it's usually known as. But yeah, they're not daisies, they're anthemias. So, but you can appreciate plants without knowing everything about them. And some of you guys out there probably will know quite a lot of the names of things in, the Latin and in English. So, just know my audience will have obsessions or interests or, whatever you want to call them. But, it's like I have a random knowledge of certain things in Doctor Who and horror movies. So, other people don't. Yeah.
And then 2 years later,
It does seem like I'm doing a random route because I am. As I say, do what makes your route feel better. So yeah, back at the conservatory again. So let's have a look at some more signs to see where I'm going. remember the old rule. The closer you get to a food establishment, the more people there are going to be near it. It's just how it goes. So yeah, as I say, I'll see if I can get into the orangery. And then go from there, really. Hey. Cool. Hey, I don't expect you to be out at night. I mean, in this point of the day. Yeah. Hope you're alright. Because this is a bit busy for you, my friend. Well, that shows you get to see a little bit of wildlife when you're walking around. I mean, you will see lots of birds and things like that, but you don't really see the foxes, I didn't think, really out in the day. Well, not this packed in the day, but who knows. Ponds, you get to see, like, fish swimming around. I would have filmed more of them, but the people sitting there seem to be having a deep conversation, which I couldn't be asked to edit over or put music over the top. So, and then we've got all the Canada geese, I think. Because yeah, the female ones are the ones with the outward markings, I think. Or at least there's two types of geese, or one type of geese, depending on if my brain is telling me the right thing. But, yeah. There's quite a lot of them walking around, having a snack, having a wash. It was so hot. It seems like a good idea I left when I did, for the amount of people walking towards us in Kew Gardens. It seems to be huge. Like a constant stream going down the street. Right, much, you know. But I've done like over 10,000 steps today, so I've done my time and I've done my distance, so I'm off.